June. Not June is the name of the film. I'm not here to talk about a month, or it's June is it's a documentary. It's on Paramount Plus. It's about June Carter Cash, and it does have audio description. And if you are a fan of the Carters or the Cashes or the Cassius Carters or the Cassius Clays or the Jimmy Carters or anything like that, then this documentary is right up your alley, because we just get into all that. Everything. Everything I just said makes absolute sense in this narrative. So, this is a documentary that really focuses more on June for once, because we have talked about Johnny just too damn much. We have walked that line one too many times, and we have fell into that burning or even fire. It should be fallen, but it's the lyric is fell, so I had to use bad grammar there. I'm sorry. I apologize to those of you English majors watching who are like, oh my god, he used the wrong. My god. I fell into a burn. It's not I've fallen into a burning fire. Yeah, so it's a documentary that uses a lot of her kids tell the story, and amazingly they have a lot of old documentary footage from June, who died in 2003. So she gets to kind of tell her own story through archival interview footage, which is nice. To have that, it kind of just means you're repurposing somebody else's documentary, but that's neither here nor there. Let's we do have some new stuff. The kids, I think, are still around, so I think their interviews are fresh. And Reese Witherspoon, definitely, she's there to offer her thoughts, even though June died in 2003 and Walk the Line came out later. I don't know how much Reese Witherspoon actually spent time with June Carter Cash, but there's a little brief interview with somebody who actually did. I found out totally. I've seen this movie, but I saw it as a kid, and no, it would not have made a difference to me to know back then that this was like her big screen debut. But June Carter Cash was in The Apostle. And yeah, I saw that as a kid, and and it came out as a kid, it kind of went over my head. And I've never really gone back to watch it, and I've always felt like I should. But it was something I was just like, I don't know what this is. This is kind of boring. I mean, he's acting really good, but I don't know about this movie. So I just haven't. And then now all of a sudden this movie came up, and I'm like, oh, I should watch that again. But damn it. No, it's going to be trying to find audio description for that film is going to be a fucking pain in the ass. So maybe I'll never get to watch The Apostle again. I don't know. But June's in that film. If you are one of my Sided fans, go watch it. Check it out. Look at the performance, analyze it, study it, of June Carter Cash, and see how much she brings to that film. It's a supporting turn. I did check just to make sure that there wasn't some critical group that threw her some sort of an award just for being June Carter Cash. Nah, when a supporting actress comes up, it went to either Farrah Fawcett or Miranda Richardson, I think, is in that. So those are the two that actually got mentions. Most of it just went to Robert Duvall. So, but June is responsible for the song we've sung already. I fell into a burning ring of fire, which I didn't know. I did not know that she was the one that wrote Ring of Fire. Maybe it's even covered in Walk the Line. Sometimes you just in one ear, not the other, just go. But I think I'll remember it now more. I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny stole that song from her. I love how they're like, yeah, my dad heard that song, as legend goes, and then he heard these Mexicali trumpets, or whatever they're called. He said something about that, the kid, Junior. Um, he heard those in front, and that's the song. You just heard these, you hear the, because June's version is just kind of like an old school country song. It's just, her voice, a guitar, just kind of nice, what you would expect. So, I mean, Johnny put some flair on it, but made it into a country classic. Um, I think there's some interesting questions that are asked about whether or not June would have been famous on her own without Johnny. I'm gonna say no. Um, Sadly, I there was something about Johnny's voice in that space at the time, a uniqueness in his voice. It wasn't necessarily like Elvis, where he was running up there on stage and selling sex appeal and thrusting his hips at the audience. He wasn't bringing that, but he was bringing sort of a new, different flavor with his own like sort of like low voice, and his songs kind of had their own appeal vibe to them. And of course, he went to jail, so Folsom Prison Blues became sort of like more impactful. I hear the train a coming. Um, so I don't think. I mean, I think she probably would have popped one or two hit singles. Yeah, sure, hit songs. But as far as like a massive, lasting impact, the way Johnny Cash has had, no. That's so rare. It's so rare to say that anybody would have had that lasting impact just if they had separated, that they'd be, you know, it's rare that he had it. I mean, like, it's lightning in a bottle, and to try to capture it twice and to say for certainty that you would have had it if you were separated, no, it's just really unlikely. Lightning in a bottle. Not that people wouldn't have known who she was, not that people wouldn't have gone on to become fans of the Carters, and like some people with, always offering deep cuts, be like, oh, did you listen to the June Carter song? Oh man, her fourth studio album is the best. I mean, there'd be people talking about her, but not to the extent that they talk about Johnny. So, but she seems like a delightful person. I love the interviews with her. There's a very interesting thing that this film does here, that the audio description does not go into, but I did watch this with somebody who could see. So there you go. So my sighted companion pointed out, because we're talking about, because I was like, isn't she dead? How are they doing the interviews? And I'm like, oh, no, these interviews, there's a lot of black and white in here. And a lot of her interviews are in black and white. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, she seems like she's doing an interview like later on in life. So it's a weird choice. I'm like, I'm wondering if they're making it black and white intentionally to like kind of make it look older than it actually is, to try to help you, feel that it's older and she's passed, because likely, like, she ends up doing some interview stuff about The Apostle, but The Apostle came out in 96, 97, somewhere around there. And so in order for her to reflect on that, it would have needed to be late 90s, at least. So we had color, is my point. Like, we were shooting things in color. So I don't know, but it's one of those things where I keep sort of mentioning, maybe we could ever get one of these confounded things where we start learning about choices that are being made by the director. Like, is it in black and white? Is it in? But sometimes with talking head documentaries, the half the battle is just knowing who's speaking. This one does a pretty good job of telling me who's speaking. Most of the time, it really wants me to know it's Reese Witherspoon, but she said her name a couple times. I heard Reese Witherspoon. I was like, yes, okay, Reese is in this. I got it. But yeah, so this is a pretty solid documentary. I'm not going to give it too many props because, again, I feel like it is repurposing material. to give like even more of, a well fleshed out look on June's life. But yeah, it's okay. Check it out. Um, it's June feels like a very nice person who's not really gonna go hard on Johnny, and she never does in this. She admits to the stuff we already know. Like he was a drug addict, and she was trying to get like throw away his drugs sometimes and stuff like that. This is not like a deeply revealing. She's never like there's nothing like he hit me and I was crying and I was or nothing like that. She's a delightful person, and this is a delightful documentary about her. It's fine. It's exactly the kind of thing that gets released early on in the year, and then we all go about our life, and we just move on. I'm gonna give June a B plus. Um, yeah, it's perfectly fine for what it is. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please click that subscribe button. I gotta get those subscribes so I can keep talking about audio description and get noticed and help other people find me that need to hear stuff about audio description. I have a website, macthemovieguy.com. You can go to X, Threads, or Instagram and follow me at Mac the Movie Guy. You can go to the audio description project, adv.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to the adna.org. That's the adna.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I will watch something else and see you guys on the other side.